A very silly show today.
We're going to teach you some tricks.
As we all know, there are a few things. There are few things cuter than a puppy. That is until they start using the sofa as a teething ring or the living room rug as their powder room.
I know that all too well. Well, our next guest is here to tell us that just because they're young doesn't mean that they can't learn the rules of the house. We welcome back Clark Inghram from the Sit and Stay Dog Academy. Welcome.
Glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yes, I'm going to take Romeo home and see if he can teach my dog how to behave. He's fantastic.
Dogs have generally learned to follow him pretty well, so that might happen. That might work for you.
Now, the last time you were here, the thing that was most impressive, other than the overall behavior you've given the dogs, is that you had people from 2 years old to our age training dogs.
Well, it's pretty easy. What we do is teach a language to the dog, and we take out the human language and we encourage the body language. And we speak generally with two languages. We speak with our human language and our body language. Our dogs can only get to one of those, and that's the body language. So right away, I see 2-year-olds will mimic what we do. They sponge what we do, and so it's quite easy to get a child to accomplish those body languages that we want to have the dog speak to, sort of say.
Right.
Now, you start with training puppies, obviously.
Right.
How early should you start training a puppy?
10 weeks. 10 weeks. I won't put a collar on a dog until he's 9 to 10 weeks old, and then from that I teach him to just follow me. Dogs can only do two things. One, follow you or lead you. It's best they follow you. It's less stress on us and less stress on them. So right away, when we first get a puppy at 9 to 10 weeks old, we teach them to follow our body language, which is movement. That's what they do with their mother. They follow her movement, and they listen to her voice afflictions, which are her growls, barks, and her whimpers.
Okay, and then at that point, you know, potty training, things like this.
That's scheduling.
This is the most difficult thing, I think,
That's
with a
scheduling.
puppy.
That's like bringing a newborn home, and you have a nursery, you have a baby crib, and about every 2-3 hours you get the baby out, you nurse, you change the diaper, you play with it, and then the baby goes back to take a nap. And the same thing for a puppy. Puppies need naps, they need growing time, and they need to be scheduled. They need to have a schedule, a routine. Kids with routines are generally better behaved.
Right.
Same for dogs.
But now, I need you to talk about kids. I know my kids react to a certain amount of reward system. What is you use treats with a dog? What do you do?
Praise is the #1. It's like when you first walk home from work and you come in that door and you're excited to see your dog, and guess what? Your dog's excited to see you. If you use that type of praise when you're training and learn when to do that and when not to do that, that dog will work endlessly for you, and that brings out his willingness to please.
As opposed to getting them strung out on treats.
Exactly, and then overweight, and then they only do it for the treat, and then they get particular about which treat they like. Oh, I don't like that one, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
I have seen that kind of attitude problem from
We like to say that we are the dog's treat, and as a dog owner, you should be your dog's treat, and that's just enough. That's enough motivation to have that dog do anything for you.
Okay, and they get very overly excited though as puppies, and then, you know how you walk into people's homes and you try to get their dog to stop jumping on you.
That was generally caused by voice
stop.
tones.
I love how you talk in the third person. You know those people with those crazy dogs?
Well, what we do is we encourage things at a young age. Dogs are very encourageable, and we have to be very careful about what we want later on. So what we try to do is make a list of do's and don'ts, and we try to stick to those. Like, puppies don't lick for affection, they lick for can I? Can I, can I, can I, can I?
Oh, really?
And so that's not an affection, that's on our part. We like that. We like puppies to lick us in the face, but it causes two problems. When you stand up, the dog has to jump to get to your face. The other thing, it teaches him to lick you excessively, and it has no meaning for him other than he can take advantage of you. And that's what they learn. So that's what we call unintentional training. We're training our dog unintentionally to do things that later on we're going to regret.
It's relationship advice too. We have some demonstration you can show us.
I want to demonstrate how a puppy learns. I want to show you how he listens through his eyes, not his ears. And that's done through movement and voice afflictions. I use a very soft tone of voice with little tones that will get the dog to respond to me because their hearing is very sensitive. A lot of people don't know a dog is born blind, and he's also born deaf. Doesn't see for 3 weeks and doesn't hear for 4 weeks.
Really?
The ear canals are shut. So when they're born basically just thriving on their instincts, sense of smell, to know where mom is, to know where the rest of the pack is, and in that comfort zone. When they get 4 weeks old, they start hearing her growls, barks, and her whimpers and each other's, and that's why they're what we call tone sensitive. They hear a loud noise, sometimes they'll become startled.
Wonderful. Let's see your demonstration.
Okay, we're going to ask, this is Bodie. Bodie is exactly 4 months old. I got him when he was 12 weeks. I kept him for 2 weeks, and he has learned heel, sit down, stay, on leash and off leash. Heel. Heel means for the dog to be at my left side. Heel. Walking and follow me. I'm going to encourage him when he does it. Good boy. Good boy. When I stop, he'll stop and sit automatically. I praise. Good boy. The right leg means for the dog to stay. He looks. I give him a hand signal, a body motion, and a word at the same time. Stay. So consequently, he's learning 3 commands to receive 3 commands 3 ways. Leg movement. I move the left leg. He moves with me. I move backwards. He moves forward. I stop. He stops, waits for me, looks. He's listening through his eyes. There are not too many words there because I want him to realize what the body's doing, not
I'm
what the
chilled
words
up.
are.
He has not taken his eyes off you, and as soon as you started to move, he was ready. And he looked at you and said, we're going to do something, aren't we?
Right, and this brings out his willingness to please. All dogs have it. It's God-given. When you teach them to do something for you, they'll do it endlessly. Good boy. Good boy. Heel. Right here. Getting out of camera range. Heel. Good boy. Come front. S-I-T. S-I-T. Good boy. No, that's an S-I-T. Psst, no.
There we go.
C-O-M-E. Good boy. Sit. Good boy. Stay. S-T-A-Y. Stay. Stay. Down. Stay. He was preparing to do that because he knew he was.
He knows what's next in the sequence.
He was anticipating what I'm doing. That's called a thought process. We cause our dogs to actually have a thought process rather than untrained dogs react. The door opens, they fly out. They see a cat, they run after it. That's a reaction. Trained dogs.
There, little pumpkin.
Trained dogs think before they react.
We've got Coach Bowden up here.
This is Coach Bowden. This is Bowden Twilla, and this is Oliver Springer. Oliver was trained when he was 12 weeks old, just like this little puppy. He is now 10 months old. He does everything on leash and off leash. Bowden was brought to me at 6 months of age, and he had pulled his mother down and tore her shoulder up. And she brought him to me shortly after that, and he liked to run into water puddles, chase lizards. Now he can work on and off leash, and she told me a marvelous story. She was locked out of her house, had Bowden, no leash, and she told him to sit, stay while she went around to a neighbor who kept one of her keys. And when she came back, he was still sitting there waiting for her.
This is just amazing how calm they are.
And we get guests that aren't this calm, folks. If you're going to be on the show, go to the Inghram Academy, the Sit and Stay Academy, and learn how to be a good guest. That is amazing.
Thank you for inviting us.
Well, absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you back.
And I want to take Romeo home. He's
Oliver
so sweet.
came down to say hi.
Yeah, he wants part of this.
Good to see you again.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, get ready because you have 2 minutes to get a piece of paper and a pen.
That's right. When we come back, Holly has what's going on in the community this weekend, and you will most certainly want to write everything down. 2 minutes and go.
This segment was paid for by the Sit and Stay Dog Academy.